Hi, this is the Keys bartender coming at you right now. I'm heading into work, and it's a rainy day here on a Friday afternoon, about 3:30, and I figured I'd cover up some of the time by discussing with you, since the roads are pretty wide open, a traffic phenomenon that happens down here when people seem to get into the Keys. And I'm sure there's a lot of different things they do, but there was a great story just I think it was a couple days ago, 2 days ago. This gentleman, call him by his first name, you could probably look it up. The guy's name's Steven from Houston, Texas. Just got himself a 2015 white Corvette, and he decides to come into the Keys. And right at the top of the Keys, he's doing in excess of 110 miles an hour on a 45 mile per hour zone, heading south. About 3 miles into Key Largo, he's pulled over by one of Monroe County's finest, and he's given a ticket. So this guy gets a ticket, accepts it, and then peels out of the parking lot in front of the sheriff's deputy, and cuts off a motorcyclist who has to avoid him. And that motorcyclist is a off-duty sheriff's deputy. And so within minutes, the original officer follows him and gives him another ticket, or he gets another ticket from another officer, but I guess he calls it in. And when asked why he went right back to speeding, he said he was angry about getting the first ticket, which, that's honest. I bet it was true. But it turns out also the guy had marijuana on him, which is illegal in this state, and a firearm. I don't know if it was unlicensed or not. I guess I didn't do my homework on that. But I just thought that was a brilliant piece of skilled driving. And if you just could take a look at this 45, it's a legitimately 45 mile per hour zone. It's tightly packed here with businesses upon businesses and residential roads coming right out along Route 1. It is not a highway in any shape of the imagination. So whenever you're going, there's only a couple places where the speed limit is 50 or 55 going down the Keys, and that's in non-residential stretches. And most of the places it's 45, and some places when you're going through like Key Deer Sanctuary. Key deer is a small species of deer that lives in the lower Keys, specifically Deer Key, where it's 35 miles an hour at night, and so you can avoid hitting them. And I'll tell you, even going 45 miles an hour, I'm driving down here one night a year or two ago, and something darted right in front of me. I just noticed in my back that it was a raccoon, and it just ran right in front of me, and it was just like a sinking feeling. I didn't know what I hit right away, and then when I stopped and looked behind me, I saw it was a raccoon, and I was on a stretch of the road where it was actually bordered. There was only a guardrail on one side and guardrail on the other, and there was no opportunity to pull over and get back, and I would have had to walk back over at night up the narrow sides of the roads right there, and I wasn't going to do it on that for a raccoon. But it's you don't have a moment. So going 110 miles an hour is well in excess of double the highest speed limit down here. Very little time to react to things that happen right in front of you. You have people that I said it last week, they make left turns from the right lane, and it happens all over the country, I'm sure of it, right? All the way around the world. People making real fast changes without regard to what's going on to the right or the left of them. But this guy gets the cake this week. I think it's going to be for a while. And seeing that no one got hurt, I thought it was a good story. If someone got hurt, I just really couldn't. I don't think it'd be worth talking about. I mean, it would be worth talking about, but at that point, people know about that here. And if you see the picture of this guy, he looks a little like someone from the Hills Have Eyes, but he got a tan. And he definitely doesn't look like a happy customer. But only very few people take mug shots down here that are really pleasant, or any place. But we do get those. And one of our pastimes, and you may have heard, is a favorite, is getting on Monroe County Sheriff's Department mugshot thing and seeing how many people we know that get arrested. And we are always surprised, the people that get arrested. There's people, there's pillars of the community that get arrested and stuff like that. And sometimes, it's just one of these things. People make mistakes. You got to be careful down here. It is a small community because everyone finds out. I mean, I remember being in Philly. No one really checked the mugshots out because there was like thousands of people on it, thousands. You'd have to specifically look for somebody. But in smaller communities, and the Keys, even though we have high volume, we get the smaller community. It's just one of those things where everyone knows you, they know what you're doing, and it's so alien to my previous life. And I may have mentioned before that going to the supermarket in Philadelphia, half a mile from where I lived, for years. Rarely would I run into someone that I knew. It's just one of those things. It was just a high volume. There were so many supermarkets, so many people, and it's just everyone just just a crush of humanity in the big city. But you come down here, and on the off season, even in the busy season, it wouldn't be unusual to walk right up. As soon as you walk in, meet someone in the front door. Then every aisle you go into, run into people stop and say hello to them. Hey, how are you doing? And I love it myself. If you're an introvert, it must be a nightmare. I could not imagine. So if you're, I'm not suggesting if you're an introvert, you're like Ted Kaczynski, but Ted Kaczynski certainly was an introvert. This would drive them nuts, that you try to come down here and be secretive. It isn't going to be happening unless you get your food shipped to you. And that's always an option, of course. And down here, if you like a community, this is what you have. The nice thing about it, where it combines the tightness of a small community and then the excitement of seeing new people. And on the road, those new people with our locals make a horrible mix sometimes. They get very irate. Some of the locals get irate by the way people drive, staring. And actually, we have someone in a truck in front of me just pulled off this side of the road. But I guess that was legal. They kind of almost drove onto the grass, but there was a turnoff there. We have people, when they're coming into Key Largo, there's a big bridge. It's got to be like 70 feet up in the air. And on the right, you can see the mangroves going out to the Atlantic Ocean, and on the left, and that's as you're heading south. And on the right, you see a body of water called Blackwater Sound, and it's under Jewfish Creek. And that's beautiful. You'll see sailboats there and everything. And sometimes you see people pull off to the right. Even though it's one lane each way and it's very limited space, people will stop at the top of the bridge. And there's about 6 inches between, and I'm being generous, between the car and other cars on top, and they stop to take pictures. And it doesn't say, I don't know, I haven't seen anything that do not stop on a bridge, but you really shouldn't stop on the bridge. And people do it, and I guess I hesitate to even call it ignorance, because someone sees, why, I guess their explanation is, how could I stop and not see this, recognize this beauty that you have down here? Yes, that may be the case, but you may not want to stop because there's a tractor trailer behind you and it's going to crush you. So weigh it against that and maybe think of another way to get that picture. As I'm heading south here, I'm going past the Key Largo Ocean Resort. This is a development. It used to be a trailer park. and they sold it about 5 years ago, and it's been development ever since. I guess they sold the lots, and the owners are building their houses, but no one has moved in yet. In the process of being built, and I just really I've never seen anything where you had things going on for so many years, building houses. It is not a development, where if it was a development by a property group that was building houses, you'd see people start opening up, and they open up sections as they become built and have roads there and all that. Well, it looks like they haven't got all their permitting done, so no one can live there yet. But then a lot of people invest a lot of money yet, and and up until this point, there's finished houses there, but they are not moved into yet because there's no finished roads, there's no access. They're just starting to look like they're putting up lighting, but that's the way people develop down here. There's a former wooded area that they turned into I think it's called a hammock. And it's a group of trees. It's not quite mangrove because it's dry, and it was on the bay. And what they did is they made it into a luxury trailer campground, and it was upwards of around $100 a night for a minimum basic hookup. So it wasn't a campground per se, like you would get a tent, or you'd want to bring a tent in. If you're paying a minimum of $100 a night, probably I think it's more. And the amenities are, you got the regular trailer campground amenities where you have point operated laundry, and maybe a little tiny store and a pool and a tiki hut where you can have some drinks, but that's about it. And you have a view of the bay and these tiny lots, virtually no vegetation. And what they did is they had that lined up, and they ran it for a couple of years. And then I guess the way they had it zoned, the possibility was if it didn't work as a campground, they would be able to develop as condominiums. And it turns out they're turning into luxury condominiums. So the long way about it, it would appear to me, the unstudied real estate lawyer, that they did this with full intention of doing the luxury condominiums the long way around, without just getting the permitting first for the luxury condominium, which would be very difficult. So a lot of when I speak to some of the older people down here who live along in the Keys, you hear that originally you'd see a lot of mom and pop motels. They still have them down here. I have a friend that has one. They become slightly boutique-y, some of them, but the rest of them have this family-owned appeal where you got these bungalows, individual bungalows there, and you got a little tiki hut, you got trees and stuff like that. And then you have these other places that turn into resorts, and then you look at these places, and they are luxury. They 3-4 bedroom, 3-bath bungalows. Another friend has an eco resort, and that place is just phenomenal. I'd like to do a podcast from there if you ever. I didn't speak to him yet, but they get the woodwork in this. He really blended it in with the environment. He has an infinity pool, and he has real coral tile lining around the pool all the way down to the dock area, and this beautiful main house where you have the tree is incorporated into the balcony, a porch, and it's beautiful hardwood all around. And you go into these bungalows, and they have these luxury bathrooms in it, beautiful marble, and in the living room they'll have a well-hidden, full-size Murphy bed. Okay, I'm going to take this phone call right now. This is my fiance, Abby. Hey, hon, I'm recording the conversation right now. Do you want to talk? Yeah, come on. No, I'll call you right back. Okay, I love you. Bye. Okay, well, that was Abby. Certainly that was a no, which couldn't be misread. So I will make sure that we're about to sign off anyway. I was talking about the resort, which I'd like to do a remote from, and then I guess that's when I want to incorporate video streaming with that. If you'd like to see the pictures of it, I will do that. I'll incorporate it on a website, and the website is now active. www.keysbartender and I will be posting the podcast on there, but you can still follow the podcast on, well, if you have it now, then you know exactly where to follow it from, so I guess that would be a moot point. Thank you very much and have a great day. This is Keys Bartender signing off. Bye.